Welcome to the West Ham Voice. I hope you're all having a good start to the weekend. This is a preview on the game that we have against Liverpool this coming Sunday and what our chances might be. I'm laughing, but it's a serious matter, isn't it? Look, if you're new to the West Ham Voice, first time you're watching the channel, or even if you've watched the channel before but yet become a subscriber, please do consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. Costs nothing to subscribe, and the content is all free. And whether you're a new subscriber or not, or an existing subscriber, please make sure you hit the like button at the end of this video. So, there's not really much to say about Liverpool that we don't already know about them this season. They've got the highest number of wins, 22 out of the 31 in the Premier League. They have the best loss record, only 2 defeats all season. They've got the highest goals scored in the Premier League with an impressive 72 goals in the 31 games played. That's averaging almost 2.5 goals per game. They have the highest number of clean sheets, matched only by Nottingham Forest, which is 13. They've created 523 shots in the Premier League this season. They have the league's top goal scorer with Mohamed Salah, 27 goals. They have the league's top assist player, which is again Mohamed Salah with 17 assists. They're on 73 points, 11 points clear of second placed Arsenal. They've conceded just 30 goals all season. That's not the best tally. Arsenal have that with their defensive record of 26 goals conceded. I mean, all round, it's been a pretty perfect season in the Premier League for Liverpool and for Arne Slot in his first season in charge. I guess it's been blotted by the FA Cup defeat against Plymouth, the Carabao League Cup final defeat against Newcastle, and being knocked out of the Champions League at the hands of PSG. But barring any major collapse in their league form, they're well on their way to winning their 20th top flight title this season. And despite having lost 3-2 against Fulham last weekend, it's unlikely they're going to be slipping up again anytime soon. Look, as mentioned, they have lost just twice in the league. The only other defeat was against Nottingham Forest, being the only other club beating them way back in September. So, with all that, how on earth are West Ham United going to get anything from this game this coming weekend? We've lost 14 games in the league. That's almost half the number of games that we played. We've conceded 52 goals, albeit most of them in the early part of the season, whilst Julian Lopetegui was in charge. And in the 2 meetings against Liverpool so far this season, we've scored 1 goal and they've scored 10. In fact, apart from the 2-2 draw against them this time last year in the Premier League, in each of the last 3 games, we have yielded 5 goals per game. Look, it's a tall order, but when asked the question about West Ham's chances in the pre-match press conference on Friday, Graham Potter simply said, "We have to be the best version of ourselves to have a chance." And in that, he's correct. We know what talent we have in the squad, and we know just how much almost every member of the squad has underperformed this season. But on our day, we can and should be a match for most Premier League teams, given the talent that we've got. And this is why teams like Liverpool are always casting an admiring glance over at some of the players that we have. And it's easy to see some players fitting in to teams higher up the league, the likes of Mohamed Salah, Mohamed Kudus, Lucas Paqueta, Jared Bowen, etc. Wouldn't look out of place at a club like Liverpool, etc. And these are the players that I want to see shine on Sunday. But we'll get to that in a moment. So what of Liverpool? Well, we heard on Friday that Mohamed Salah has signed a 2-year contract extension. So that, for now, puts paid to the ongoing rumours that either Mohamed Kudus or Jared Bowen would be lured to the club, to Liverpool, to replace him. So Salah and Liverpool will undoubtedly be in a buoyant mood. Not that they would need any encouragement to be up for it against West Ham. And Liverpool are further encouraged by the news that goalkeeper Allison and Connor Bradley are both available for selection on Sunday, which will certainly help to shore up their defence, which has had some uncharacteristic defence lapses of late. Allison's leadership, his command of the box, and his sweeping ability are not simply added bonuses for Liverpool, they are an essential trait in how Liverpool build from the back and navigate high pressing opponents like West Ham. And the only player likely to be missing is the injured Trent Alexander Arnold. But such is Liverpool's squad's depth, as good a player as Arnold is, I'm not sure that they're going to be sweating too much if he's missing from the starting lineup against West Ham this coming Sunday. Or will they? I guess we'll see. So what do we expect from Liverpool and what do we expect from an Arne Slot team this coming weekend? Well, I guess no different to what they've been doing all season. Slot's tactical approach has been widely praised for its simplicity and effectiveness. He's known for favouring a possession-based style that relies heavily on short passing and fluid movement. His system focuses on creating space for players to operate in, ensuring that the team maintain control of the ball for as much of the game as possible. Now, one of the key elements of Slot's tactics is the use of a 4-3-3 formation. This formation allows for a strong midfield presence with three central midfielders controlling the pace of the game. It also allows for width, with the wingers stretching the opposition and creating space for the fullbacks to overlap and contribute to the attack. The fullbacks are particularly important in Slot's team as they are asked to provide attacking support while still maintaining their defensive responsibilities. Slot's team are known for their aggressive pressing when out of possession. He emphasises winning the ball back quickly and high up the pitch, which not only disrupts the opponent's play, but also keeps his own team in attacking positions. The combination of ball retention, high pressing, and quick transition has made Slot's team difficult to break down and, more importantly, very difficult to beat. So what about us? How are we going to overcome this? It all sounds like the odds are against us. How are we going to combat Slot's tactical approach? Well, it would be easy to suggest that Potter might try to match Slot like for like in a 4-3-3 formation. And although Potter reverted to a back four with a midfield, sort of a fluid midfield of 2, 3, and 3 up front against Bournemouth last weekend, I'm not sure that this will be his intention this coming Sunday. Look, it's not going to surprise me in the slightest if Potter returns to a back five with the possibility of a 3 in midfield and a 2 up front. And I know fans aren't going to like that, but it's who will be selected in this lineup that will determine whether we can get anything from this game against Liverpool. Now, there are no new injury concerns for Potter to worry about. He was asked about Fullkrug during the pre-match press conference, and he said that Fullkrug felt a bit of fatigue more than anything else after the game against Bournemouth. So that might be a heavy hint that, again, Fullkrug might not start this game at the weekend. Now, naturally, despite the criticism that he received in the game against Bournemouth last weekend, I think Alphonse Areola will maintain his place in the starting lineup. I've said I can see Potter going with a back five, which will probably mean that Mavropanos, Kilman, and Todibo will play at the back, with Wan-Bissaka and Emerson rather than Scholes as wing-backs. I think Ward-Prowse is going to retain his place, as will Alvarez coming as well as Paquetá. But I think in this game, it's possibly Souček that's going to be dropped to the bench. Then at least for the first half, I can see Bowen and Kudus probably sharing the responsibility up front or being part of the two up front. And then I do see changes as the game goes on. I envisage that to last until at least half time, that initial lineup. But then I can see Fullkrug coming on quite possibly at the start of the second half. And there might even be a formation change to accommodate that, because I can also see quite possibly Salah getting more game time in this game again. Now, I'm even contemplating whether Salah might even start this game on Sunday. That's a possibility. But and if he does, then it's quite possible that Potter may decide to drop either Alvarez or Ward-Prowse to accommodate Salah. Salah has got more movement, more fluidity about him. So I can see the possibility of him starting. But at this moment in time, my initial starting lineup is going to be Areola, Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Todibo, Kilman, and Emerson, with a midfield three of Ward-Prowse, Paquetá, and Alvarez, and then two up front of Bowen and Kudus. I think what Potter's going to do is going to try and fill that midfield to try and stop Liverpool's intricate little passes. And also, the reason why I think he's going to start with a back five is because although a lot of fans would love to see us go out with a bang for the last, 7 games of the season, and be a bit more gung-ho, I think the last thing that anyone wants to see is another thrashing again on a visit to Anfield. We've got to be aware of their fast counter-attacking play, where they get the ball up to the likes of Salah at every opportunity. And this is, again, why I think a 5 will be starting, because it gives us that security at the back and filling out the midfield to try and stifle them as much as possible there as well. But by having 2 up front always gives us the chance of a breakaway. And with the team who lacks pace, us of course, that's why I'm tinkering with the Salah start. Look, I don't expect us to go to Anfield and just defend for 90 minutes. I don't think, even though, and I know people automatically think that, the minute you have a back 5, it's defend, defend, defend. But you can play that back 5 so long as in a more effective way, in a more attacking way, if you manage to get your wing backs moving forward. And we've seen Wan-Bissaka do that, and we know Emerson can do that as well. And that would be the key. Instead of just sitting 5 at the back, I don't think that's what Potter's aim will be. What we need to do is to make sure that we keep their defence busy by getting Wan-Bissaka and Emerson as far forward on the flanks as possible. And the 3 centre-backs will provide that security blanket for doing that. Look, it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be for the faint-hearted. But, if we can keep Liverpool at bay, who knows how it might turn out. Ever the optimist, I'm going to go for a Desmond. And if teams like Fulham and Everton are able to get 2 or more goals against Liverpool, then why not us? I'll be there. There'll be a post-match review after the game, so do look out for that as well. And like I said, if you're new to this channel and you've enjoyed the content, please do become a subscriber. And whether you're a new subscriber or not, please make sure you hit that like button. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will see you all again soon.